Welcome to my video presentation, Core Principles of Ballet. This video presentation will be exploring a wide range of topics in relation to the core principles of ballet, particularly the history of ballet. So this presentation doesn't explore things like anatomy, it doesn't really explore technique or injury prevention or any of those things. If you're looking to find out the technique, anatomy and injury prevention aspects of ballet, which are additionally important, then have a look at my dance educational blog. My online website provides an entire article packed with information on safe ballet practice and anatomy. But this presentation specifically explores ballet in its historical context. This includes pioneers of ballet, ballet vocabulary, different types of ballet, different methods, famous ballets, innovation in ballet, training routes, professional routes, my personal progression, and also how to get further information on the ballet industry as well. Enrico Sansetti is a famous, world-renowned Italian ballet dancer, mime, and pioneer. In his early career, he was a professional dancer that toured across Europe and landed major roles such as Sleeping Beauty and Pelia. His Sansetti technique is a training method that aims to build strength and elasticity, or in other words, flexibility. It considers the laws of gravity and anatomy and is one of the main training methods used within classical ballet today. The impact he has had on the dance industry, he has taught many famous dancers, helping them to launch their careers. And he was well known for his agility and superpower technique, and often labelled one of the world's greatest ballettos. Look up for my upcoming vlog. My upcoming vlog will explore further ways to incorporate this particular technique. So, Agrippina Vaganova. This is a Russian-born dancer who trained in a ballet academy prior to launching her professional career. Her Vaganova technique is a bar technique in which each step builds on the previous. The legs progressively extend further away in the air from the body. Her impact on the industry is that her technique is so commonly used both in practical classes and under examination boards. What you'll often find is this method is so commonly used in a way that's quite subtle and less obvious. No one really says we're using Vaganova technique. It's a Russian technique. However, the whole concept of gradually increasing level of difficulty, you do see this traditionally in a ballet class. You might start off with gentle exercises at the bar, such as pliés, and as the class progresses on, you do things like jetés and different grand allegro and petit allegro and more strenuous things of that nature towards the end of the class. George Balanchine trained in Imperial School of Ballet before launching a professional career as a choreographer. He's known for his musicality, working with famous composers of that time, including Igor Stravinsky. He used both classical and neoclassical music. Famous dance works such as The Nutcracker, which premiered in 1954, Apollo in 1928. He's clearly a very early pioneer if one of his first ballets premiered in 1928. There are many more pioneers other than these particular three sort of main famously known ones that I've mentioned. I mean, Sansetti method, Vaganova method, the Balanchine method are very commonly mentioned in a lot of BBC ballet documentaries and things like that, but there are other methods outside of these three, which are really easy to find. Now, these methods are still used in the current climate, but they are often remolded and innovated, but you can still see the original essence of these early pioneers in ballet today. So famous ballets include things like Cinderella, Red Shoes, Swan Lake, Gazelle, The Nutcracker, Romeo and Juliet, and Sleeping Beauty. Theatres like Curve Theatre, Sue Townsend, Royal Albert Hall, and so forth offer ballet performances on an annual basis. So, most theatres offer ballet performances. It's a very traditional thing to do. I myself actually did a review of Cinderella, which has been uploaded online, which you can easily find on my Dance Educational Resources blog. So, ballet has definitely evolved over time. It's definitely innovated. So if we were to look at ballet around the time when it first began to exist, decades and decades ago, it evolved during the Romantic era. It started with very gentle movement, a gentle sway, lots of ballroom dances. It was often done in heels and ball gowns. It wasn't even done in point shoes in the early days. And it was often done in the royal courts and signified love between man and woman. Ballet dancers were a bit bigger at the time. They were much more oval. This might explain some of the oval movements of the arms. You'll find in port de bras very oval shapes, and that could be because in the early years of ballet, you often saw dancers that were bigger than the ones now. Now, looking at ballet now, comparing it to many years ago, it's much more physically, technically, and athletically demanding. And it gets more and more this way as time evolves on. English National Ballet has aired a documentary called Agony and Ecstasy, which provides a lot of insight onto ballet in the current climate. I do think one of the reasons why ballet dancers are a little bit more thin now is just really due to excessive training hours. It's also because of pas de deux, so that men are able to lift the female dancers easily. And you can see here from the image that I've used, it's very, a massive amount of elevation from the floor. You can see how high he is. And again, if you go back to ballet decades and decades ago, this wouldn't really have happened. So you can definitely see that innovation in that comparison. Historical context, and obviously we've already kind of explored historical context, but just to kind of go a little bit further into it, a lot of famous ballets are based on fictional fairy tales, such as the Grimm's brothers, for instance. Some are even seen in Disney, such as Cinderella. They're done over and over and over again, and they are innovated. So a lot of ballets that you'll see, like Matthew Bourne's Cinderella or Swan Lake, there'll be hundreds of other choreographers that have made pieces on those specific themes. Now, Russia, France, Italy, and England have pioneered the most forms of ballet. They are the most commonly known places for ballet. But it is still explored in other parts of Europe. And it's also explored across the world, even in places like Africa, Asia, India, and so forth. But it began in France, and a lot of our classical ballet terminology we use is in French, traditionally. Global context of ballet and what's going on in ballet in parts of the world will be explored in my upcoming vlogs. So I may make sometime in the future, in 2023, an extension of this video. This is sort of my part one. It's sort of giving you the basics. It provides further information into ballet and starts to delve into, a little bit more about what's going on around the world in ballet, and a little bit more about what's going on in terms of, some of the same things that are discussed in this presentation, but in a little bit more depth. Here's some ballet vocabulary in alphabetical order. So for A, adage, slow controlled movement. Allegro, brisk fast movement. B, Balanchine method, Balanchine technique. C, cambre, which is a layout which uses the thoracic region of the spine. So if you don't know what a layout is, it just involves arcing the upper back. C, crescendo, which is a musical terminology meaning build up in music. It's sort of like the suspense before the music becomes more explosive. Chenet turns, classical composers, and classical ballet as a form. D, we have développé, which is the unfolding of the leg. It's often seen in adage. Drag turns. E, échappé, to escape, which is a dynamic quality or motion. F, fondu, which is to melt, which is a quality often seen in pliés. G, gallop, which is often done before leaps and involves a step or change action. G, grand rond de jambe, a whip motion of the leg transitioning from in front of the body out into à la seconde. Also for F, I would say fouettes is also a good one, and that's a particular type of turn. Grand allegro, expansive, brisk, fast movement. H for height, specifically vertical jump height, getting leaps higher. J for jump, there are many different types of jetés, and it's the French terminology for leaps. L for leaps, M for music and musicality, O for orchestra, live ones are often used in famous ballets, opera music, P for pirouette, pas de deux, pas de trois as well, which is with 3 instead of 2, pas de chat, which is a type of jump, pliés, which can be demi-pliés or grand pliés, pencil turns, posé turns, port de bras, which is carriage of the arm, piqué turns, another type of turns, petit allegro, which is small, brisk, fast movement, and then for T, turns of many different kinds. Here are the 6 positions. So the first position, second position, third position, fourth position, and fifth. So really they're only giving you 5, but the 6th would just be parallel. Parallel is not really used as often in ballet, but sometimes it is in the beginning of the class and warm-ups. In terms of positions of the arms, we have first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. As detailed in the photos, you can also see the feet positions. Now with fourth, there's fourth open and there's fourth crossed. And also you can have high release and low release with the arms. So there are a few more than what's detailed on this imagery. These are the basic positions that are commonly used in ballet practice. So here's some insight into my individual journey with ballet, which began with a dance workshop which led to a scholarship at the age of 9. I then stopped dancing and took up ballroom aged 13. I went back into ballet as a teenager and have been doing ballet for 7 years now. I use a flexibility program to improve my feet and turnout and would strongly recommend foot stretchers, resistance bands and loops, ballet fitness, floor bar, and a personalised training program if you're transitioning into ballet from a dance background of different forms. Because all those things help prepare your body for ballet. To learn how to make your own training program, your own personalised training program, visit my dance education blog and click on training programs. Additionally, select technique, anatomy and fitness, where I discuss safe ballet practice. So again, just going back to that, I think that would be really, really useful if you're looking to improve your ballet technique or even your lyrical technique. There are a lot of skills that you would learn from looking into safe ballet practice that are transferable onto other genres of dance as well, just because of the strength and the flexibility and fitness that you can get from them. So here we discuss various training pathways in ballet. Now, training is actually mandatory for any type of career in ballet. So you can get training through a range of different options. You could just take evening classes, but you see the thing is with that is you wouldn't get any formal qualifications. So in order to do well in ballet auditions, I would strongly recommend you get formal qualifications. So for example, IDTA, which stands for International Dance Teachers Association Examination Board, ISTD, Imperial Society of Training and Dance, Royal Academy of Dancing, and much more. Those examination boards provide things like UCAS points, formal qualifications. You can start at a foundation level, build through intermediate to advanced work, build up to point practice. You do have to have experience in point to get into a professional company, but there's loads of point hacks and things like that that I'll be putting in my upcoming vlogs about how to protect your feet with point work and how to make sure you get the right point shoes that are perfect for your feet. You can also get training and training qualifications on training courses in higher education in places like Leicester College. Now high national diplomas and their degrees in dance offer things like both beginner and advanced classes in ballet. De Montfort University and Derby University, now those places also offer contemporary and jazz and things like that, but they do additionally offer ballet on their training courses. DuPont is a great place to train for evening classes in ballet if you're Leicester based. If you have a child or if you're under the age of 16, you may be eligible to join a dance school and take grades with them. I also offer private lessons, reasonable in charge, which may involve us getting together, thinking about goals and devising a personalized training program and training you and motivating you, giving you tips and tricks, everything from spotting your turns, moving past your singles, doubles and triples onto fours and fives, sending the leg higher, getting your leaps higher, and much more different tips and tricks that I have that can really help you with your technical progression in ballet. So in terms of professional pathways in ballet, for men and boys, I would suggest Ballet Boys. It's the leading UK agency for boys to dance. Places like Birmingham Royal Ballet, English National Ballet and the Royal Ballet are leading ballet companies if you're thinking about where to audition for ballet. It is common for people to travel and enter student accommodation. There's a major ballet company in every single part of the UK. Every city has a major ballet company. Royal Academy of Dancing provides grades in ballet through various levels of difficulty. They're very nationally recognised. There are degree courses that are just ballet specific that only offer ballet out there. If you contact me, I can let you know which ones they are. And there are also 50-50 ballet contemporary conservatoires like the Barn. So half the time you'll be doing ballet and half the time you'll be doing contemporary. My agency, Talk Dance, provides mentorship and advice to emerging dance artists of all dance backgrounds, including ballet dancers, on how to progress their careers, whether that's transitioning into teaching or transitioning into a professional company, or just trying to figure out where's the best place to get the qualifications to follow your career path and goals. So for further information on anything dance related, whether it's ballet specific, whether it's technique specific, or different genres entirely, I would suggest visiting my dance education online blog. It's a whole website. It has more than 20 articles and dance related subjects. My online portfolio contains my contact details. Look out for my upcoming vlogs on how to improve ballet technique. Thank you for viewing my video presentation.